All right, guys, good morning. What is today? Today is, my gosh, July 2nd, Tuesday morning. It is early, around 5 o'clock in the morning. I've been up since 3. So, woke up this morning and had a lot on my mind, and I've been wanting to do this video for quite some time, and it is a video on and information on PTSD and what it actually is. But I want to go into first hypnosis. Of course, it's what my main focus is hypnosis. And if you guys have ever watched my initial video on hypnosis and what it is and so on and so forth, you kind of understand. And I would encourage you to watch that video first so you can have a reference point from where I'm going here. But I want to paint a picture for you. And the picture I want to paint is how we develop the things that we have to deal with every day, the things that are imprinted on our subconscious mind, in our hard drive, so to speak. And the way it works is very simply this. We learn. The subconscious mind is imprinted upon by actions, by emotions, by events, by our history, how we grew up. And it takes all this information and it imprints, and then it's information that that the subconscious draws on throughout our lifetime to handle certain situations. Because in the beginning as children, we don't have that, and that's why kids are in a constant state of hypnosis. And I use the word hypnosis very, but for the lack of a better word, just in what we've developed, our understanding of what hypnosis is, having to do with the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. But as children, we don't have that information. And that information is either you know it or you don't know it. It's a known or an unknown. You don't know what you don't know until you know you don't know it. So as we develop this information, and as children, we don't have the conscious mind veil that is fallen up over us to filter certain things into our subconscious mind or prevent them from entering. It's just there. It's information. And then as we get older, we start drawing on this information for us to make decisions, conscious decisions, of which way to go, whether it's left or right, or whether we're black or white, or up or down, front or back, whatever the case may be. So we gather this information, and we make our decisions based upon this information. We're reactionary. And if we don't make a conscious effort to look at the information that has been imprinted upon us through circumstance, again, life experiences, how we grew up, your mom and your dad, your friend, your best friend, your priest, your pastor, whoever it is, all this information. So we don't have that veil or the kids don't have that veil of the conscious mind preventing this stuff from filtering it. So now we've got this information, and we make decisions based on this information. Now, how is this information put upon us? Well, we were in a state of hypnosis / high suggestibility, and everybody goes through it. There's not a person on this planet that does not go through this and develop or has this imprint this way. It just is the way that the subconscious and the mind works. So we've got this information. We make decisions based on this. Now, I want to go back to my original talk here of PTSD. Now, PTSD has come out, and it's been primarily attributed to soldiers, military, coming back from experiences and so on and so forth. But now it's kind of spread. PTSD can be any event. Excuse me. And understand, this is going to be a very informal thing. This is not going to be highly edited, so I apologize. I hope you can get through it. And when I post it on my channel, if you've got suggestions, please. But criticisms, whatever. But PTSD has been applied. It can be applied to pretty much anything. You can call it dog bite when you got bit by a dog when you were a child. That's a form of PTSD nowadays. Okay. As a matter of fact, let's use that dog bite for a second. When you're a kid, all kids like dogs. Okay. They go up, they pet the dog bites them, hits them, knocks them down, whatever it is. It's a traumatic experience for them at that point. Well, that's an imprint. Now, that imprint can be carried with them for the rest of their lives because now they are going to be fearful of dogs because of this imprint, because of this event that happened with the dog. And it can be logical, it can be illogical. It doesn't matter. That's how they process that information. So, that's what they got. So now they're fearful of dogs. Well, that can be considered nowadays as PTSD. But I want to paint a different picture for you, okay? Such as how, as adults, we develop this PTSD. In hypnosis, if you've watched my initial video, hypnosis is triggered by stress. Now that stress can be manufactured, such as what I do when I work with people. I manufacture stress to allow that person to go into a state of hypnosis, to escape into that state of hypnosis. Now, some people go willingly, they're very relaxed, they can focus. Some people try to fight it, so we have to figure out different ways to create this stress. But stress creates that opportunity for people to drop down into the state of hypnosis. And once they are in that state, they become highly suggestible. Okay? Now, I want you to follow me on this. We take 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids who are going into the military. And look, I served in the military. I was in the Army. I understand. Okay? I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I'm proud of my service. But there's a stressful thing that goes through, even in basic training. Back when I was in, basic training was designed to weed out the weak-minded people because they weren't going to be able to adhere to military lifestyle, to follow instructions, to be trainable, to be coachable. They resisted it. And I saw full-grown men at that time cry their eyes out and just go into an emotional shutdown. You call it a breakdown, but I call it an emotional shutdown. And they just did not have the mental capacity, the strength of that, which is unfortunate because it could be taught, and they were cycled out. Okay? But we take 18, 19, 21-year-old kids, we put them in basic training. We're training them to be soldiers, to follow orders, to go forward. Here's a rifle to learn how to shoot. This is your weapon. This is the parts of the weapon. This is how you keep it clean. And then after that is basic training is done, they go into their job skills training, AIT. Okay? And depending on what kind of job skill they have, they are going through this training. It's a little bit more subtle, but it's nonetheless intense. When I was in the military, I was in communications. I was a 36 kilo, which was a tactical wiring operations specialist, which in the early 80s, which is a very short period of time after the end of the Vietnam War, which I look back on and I just find that amazing. I was a pole climber, telephone, run wires. That's what I was supposed to do. But here's the thing. One of the instructors that was teaching us, and we had to do with communications. Obviously, we carried radios. We dealt with radios. He said that, and I'll never forget this, he said that your life expectancy as communication people on the battlefield is minutes. Because once the enemy sees that you're communications, who do they want to take out? Communications. Well, I wasn't too excited about that. So we're going through and we're doing this training. Okay, I'm taking all this in. Okay, self-preservation, survival. So we're doing a class on digging trenches across roads to lay wires in such a way that the tanks, as they went over it, didn't kick up these wires. So I said, and we're taking quite a long period of time to do this. I mean, to dig this trench here. My life expectancy is minutes. It's taken a lot more time than minutes to get this trench done across this road. So I made a comment to the instructor, the sergeant. I said, let me tell you what. Here's what I'm going to do if I'm ever faced with this situation. This funny little shovel that you've given us, you twist it and you open it up and you close it and you fold it and you put it in your pouch and all that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open that rascal up. I'm going to angle it down at a 90-degree angle. I'm going to tie it to my belt, run across this road, and whatever dirt it kicks up, that's what that wire is going to go into. It's going to be a very quick process for me. And he laughed and says, no, this is the way you got it. So we go on. Okay, so my point is you've got a group of people that are highly suggestible. And for all intent and purpose, a lot of them are in a state of hypnosis at that point. And if they're not, they will be. So now we fast forward to our current environment when we had the invasion of Kuwait and so on and so forth, and we took all our soldiers, and all of a sudden, just suddenly, we were thrust into battlefield. And kids were going over in planes. I remember when I was in, it was the El Salvador thing that was very hot at that time. In my unit, they put us on alert. They said, we're going to El Salvador, and we loaded up the Connexes, our equipment, everything. They came in for an alert one morning. There was Constantine wire around the barracks. All the pay telephones had been taken out. And I said to myself, Self, this is not normal. This is not a training drill. And then once we got into formation, we were advised that, pack stuff up, we're leaving. We didn't have time to talk to wives, girlfriends, anybody. They put us on trucks, sent us out to the airfield, put us on C-130s. Everybody on that plane at that point was in a state of hypnosis, highly state of suggestibility. Why? Because stress. Because we've been told that we're going into a battlefield environment, and there's a strong possibility, high probability, could be, that you're going to die. That is stress. So immediately, people drop into hypnosis. And they can't tell you, they're so tunnel vision, they can't tell you what's going on around them. They're thinking about self-preservation, the fight or flight mechanism, the primitive mind kicks in. So now we send these kids over there, and they're told that you have to be alert, you have to pay attention, you have to be focused. You have to look at people in such a way that they are going to kill you, that they want you dead. You've got to look at, as you're going down the road in the convoys, everything around you because of roadside bombs. And because people have been blown up and lost not only their lives, but they've lost limbs and coming back and all that, it's a very stressful thing. They're in a constant state of hypnosis. They're in a constant state of imprint. So any little sound, any noise, any explosion, any sight, any smell, anything that's associated with that can be an imprint onto the subconscious mind at that point. And they don't even realize it. So they go over there and they spend however months that they're over there, and then we bring them back. They're still in a state of hypnosis. They're still in that high state of emotion, suggestibility. They land on U.S. soil, and they're told, you're safe, relax. That's not how the subconscious mind works. That's not how the conscious mind works. They're still in that state of hypnosis because they haven't been brought out of it. When I work with people, I create an artificial level of stress to put people in a state of hypnosis, but I bring them out. So there's an in and there's an out. They don't have an in and an out. They have an in, but they've not come out. So people, when they come back, the problems that they face with not only their family, but getting back into society, having to deal with the imprints that they had while they were over there, the imprints of the sounds, what they've seen, the smells, the people. All of these things are imprints, and they affect them. It takes priority. The subconscious mind has said, this is priority, this is what I'm doing to protect you. Hence, from our perspective of a society, they are damaged goods. So what do? They take them, they put them into talk therapy, which, from what my perspective, is a bunch of hoo-ha anyway. All right, because when you get into talk therapy, you're never going to get the truth from people. 2, they're going to be hold things back. 3, in their self-preservation mode. They don't want to be thought of in certain ways, so they're not going to tell it certain, and it accomplishes nothing. So you talk about what that's supposed to fix it. That's not the way it works. So now we've got these soldiers that are going through, and they're going through their life, having problems, can't hold a job, can't deal with what they've seen, what they've experienced. And that's the suicide rate of soldiers coming back is astronomical. It's shameful. So how do we deal with that? It's actually very simple. And it's called hypnosis. Because you're dealing with people that in all likelihood are in the state of hypnosis. So there's 2 things that's got to happen. One is that they have to be taken back into hypnosis, into a deeper state of the hypnosis. And then they have to be brought out of it to shut it off. That's the first thing that's got to happen. Second thing that's got to happen is we have to deal with these imprints. And the imprints are very simple to deal with. It's not complicated. Just like the person with the dog bite. 2 sessions of hypnosis, we get a person that no longer has issues with dogs. They don't freak out when they see a dog because of their past experience. Well, how do you do that? Well, hypnosis. We go through and reprogram the subconscious mind on how to deal with it, either a release, either a desensitizing, to where we put it in perspective so the subconscious mind has new information in which to make decisions on. And they'll sleep better. They'll operate better. They become normal again, as what we consider normal. The norm is there is no norm, which There's no norm. So we have people that we can help with hypnosis, and I'm very passionate about doing that. But we have to have the opportunity to work with these people to be able to bring them out of, excuse me, I'm the only one up right now, except like one of the dogs. But anyway, we have to bring them out of hypnosis, put them back in, get rid of these imprints, put these imprints in perspective. And it's a very simple process. It's nothing that needs to take months to do or years to do. It's something that they don't have to feel like that there's no hope or there's no solving the issue. But we have to get people in front of qualified people that don't overthink this. You know, that doesn't get psychologists involved. I mean, some of the nonsense that I've heard and that I've read, psychology, that make it way more complicated than what it actually is. Or people with mental issues, yeah, there's people with mental issues. But to be honest with you, they're probably few and far between. It seems out every day that nowadays everybody wants to be classified as mentally incapacitated for one reason or another, mostly because of I really don't want to get into this, but political reasons, medical reasons. I heard the other day that there is no money in solving a medical issue. There's truth to that. You know, if you solve the problem, there's nothing left to get money for. You help the person, but it's not going to make you any money. Most of my clients I spend 5, 7 sessions with. Not a long period of time. Some of them are 3. The minimum I will do with a person is 3. And that's my own personal reason based on my experiences with what hypnosis can do and how it can accomplish things. But it's not complicated. But we have to get people. And the unfortunate thing is government won't pay for it. The insurances nowadays won't pay for it. It's got to come out of pocket. But I want you to imagine this: 5, 6, 7. Let's say 6 sessions. You're talking less than $1,000 to solve a problem, to eliminate issues. I wished it were more. I wish it could cost $10,000. Maybe people would put more value to it. But if you've got issues, a person can come up with $1,000 to solve the issue if they want to solve the issue, if they want to solve the problem. So I would encourage you, if you're watching this video, if you know someone who suffers from PTSD, a military person, that has tried stuff and it's just not helping, to encourage them to seek out a qualified hypnotist. And I work with clients all over the world, all over the country through video. I want to solve people's issues. I'm not the brightest bulb in the package. I'm not a psychic. I'm not a witch or whatever and all that special powers. I just learned a lot about the mind and understand how it works. And I try not to make things too complicated, because it's really not. As much as we want to think that we're complicated and special and all that, we're not. We're pretty much the same. May do things a little bit differently, but we're pretty much the same. Most of us want the same thing out of life: to live it peacefully, successfully, comfortably. Want our kids to be safe. We all want the same things. But there are those few who don't. That's okay. I just choose not to deal with them. But anyway, getting off track there. So that's the thing with PTSD. If anybody has any questions, if they have any feedback, please, I encourage you to send me an email. Information is on my YouTube channel here. Hit the like button. If anybody wants to see certain subjects approached or talked about, let me know. I'll be happy to look at them. I've got some subjects that I'm going to be bringing to the channel here, getting a little bit more active with it, and hopefully can help some people, educate some people. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Be well. God bless.